Hello friends, family, other creatures of the sea, welcome back to a new high level game here. Today we have ByuN in the bottom left as the blue Terran player. And in the top right as the red Protoss player we have Trap playing for Quadon Freaks, I think they're called. I don't think it's Afrika Freaks anymore, but I could be wrong. He's still playing for the team Afrika SE2, but he might have just forgotten to leave that clan. ByuN of course playing for Shopify's Rebellion, same team that I'm in. Nice. Very cool. As we have a bit of a PvT here. That first SEV, I'm not quite sure what that SEV was doing, but it looked like it was planning and going for either a proxy barracks or an eBay block. Now it's still going to try and get an eBay block. It might get the eBay down temporarily. Nah, ByuN's just going to give up this plan and say, no, not today. SEV might actually be in a bit of trouble. Well, it will die here actually. This is a dead SEV for sure. And there's absolutely nothing that ByuN can do about this. Only Trap can fill this. This is a bit of an IQ test. There we go. Gets that SCV. Nexus, Cybercore gets thrown down before the Nexus at 126. So we have a Marine opener here out of ByuN. Not the greatest start for ByuN, who started this with a very quick scout to the other side of the map. Followed it up with losing his first SCV that he was scouting with. And as a result of that early game... wait, what happened here? He cancelled the Marine. I was looking at the money and all of a sudden I see, hey, you got like 50 minerals from somewhere. And the Marine didn't quite finish yet. So decides to cancel that Marine to get a faster CC on the high ground. This is actually kind of interesting. And he'll go for a fast factory. So in that case, delaying the Marine doesn't actually hurt him too much, because you want to delay the reactor anyway, because you don't have the gas to get that reactor down immediately. So this actually makes a lot of sense. I like this opener a lot out of ByuN, honestly. Now everything will get scouted, that's good for Trap, but I mean, the end of the day, ByuN got dealt a pretty crap hand, and he's playing it the best that he can, because God knows that these first minute and a half are kind of hellish here for the Korean Terran player. Question now is, what is he going to be doing with this? Throws down a second barracks. Now this is a build that we saw Ryang do a lot in Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, where he opened up with a fast factory to either pop out a Hellion or Hellion into Cyclone, sometimes even a mine into a Cyclone, or just two mines. You followed up with 3 racks. This makes it really difficult for the Protoss player to figure out what's going on the other side. You see a factory unit, but technically you're playing against the 3 rack. So you're constantly waiting for some type of aggression to hit your main base, which makes it difficult to march across the map with your Blink Stalkers. Now, if there's some type of scouting here with either a hallucination or with an observer or an adept can get in to see that that second barracks is down already, that would be absolutely huge. But as that isn't quite the case yet, this could potentially get dangerous here for Trap. Now, there's no third barracks on the way yet. That could still happen. We could also see ByuN throw down a starport as well as a reactor at this point. Now, just going to be a attack lab here, most likely going to attack. Now, mine will survive, of course. I think there is an adept on the way. Yeah, adept is done, but needs to stay at home to deal with this Hellion. Potentially could be dangerous, of course. And this mine will kind of function as a tool to zone out these stalkers. It's not as safe as a bunker, but it will do the trick for now. As this adept makes its way across the map, one unit will get warped in. Should be a stalker. Yeah, there we go. I think that is the correct call here out of Trap. There's a tiny tad supply blocked. Painful. Not the end of the world. Now, this adept, what it's going to do, it's going to be shading back, and it will move into Widowmine range in about half a second. There we go. I think that's mistimed. Ooh, actually it was perfectly timed. Trap knows better than I do. That doesn't quite surprise me. And now these two stalkers will be allowed to start kiting these Marines. And this is why a bunker is a little bit more secure, but often the mine does a good enough job. Hellion's going to get sent back as well. I think that was an F2 move here, if anything. Bunker starts being thrown down. Oh, sloppy control there out of Trap's going to lose 2 units because of that. You're walking a very thin line when you're dealing with a big bunch of Marines. You make one misstep, you lose 2 units. And we just saw that happen. I do believe that Trap scouted that there is a Marauder here. As the third barracks has indeed finished up as well right now. Starboard is being built on this reactor already. And we should see something going down on the reactor as well. Where it's going to be, or on the factory, whether it's going to be a reactor or a tech lab, doesn't really matter. It's going to be a reactor, so mines will be the follow-up. And this is the preferred gameplay for ByuN in honestly the past 9 months. He loved triple Rex openers. He loves getting these high Marauder counts very early on in the game. He's so good with these Marauders. From here on out, we'll see a medevac count going up to 6, 8, sometimes even 10, splitting the army up in 2 places, and then through some solid multitasking and good army movement, try and get a lead in this game. Now, the question here is, will Trap allow all of this to happen? Trap's throwing down a crap ton of gateways. He's on triple gas, but there's no forge here. That means a little bit of gas will be left over for some type of tech. Now, this could be just simply for adding in sentries, but we could also see a fast robo bay here, even an added-on Templar archives. All of these things are viable at this point. There is a prism on the way towards the main base of ByuN. As that observer gets spotted. There's an observer in a very odd position here on the far left. Trap is going to see these 2 medevacs and might actually start moving towards that left side. No, Trap says, hey, I don't think I can quite get it. Did ByuN just spot that? Oh my god. No, he wants to catch these stalkers actually. I don't think he spotted that. Trap, just to be sure, moved this observer a little bit and starts going back home with these stalkers. Does not want to get caught out on the map. This is an odd position for a 3rd base here on Hardwire. ByuN is aware of it already. We'll start moving in right now. +1 is about to finish up. This is not going to be a very fair fight. There's +1 already on the bio. There's no upgrades here on Trap's army. He's getting a forge at this point, but I'm not so sure if that's going to be enough. The prism is... Wait, it died? Wait, did I miss the prism dying? I must have missed the prism dying somewhere. That kind of sucks here for Trap. It's now a Guardian Shield. A couple of force fields also going down at the same time. Poof. Blink back. A bunch of zealots get warped in. Now, there's no upgrades here on these zealots, of course. And the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get. Templar Archives as a follow-up. It's an odd choice here. The Templar loses its usefulness in this matchup very quickly often. So this could be a Templar Archives for a couple of Archons for safety. I'd be surprised if this is for Storm, because this is an army that's already extremely vulnerable to Ghost and to EMP specifically. You add in Templar there, you're still getting countered by the same thing, and that's the Ghost Academy. The Ghost Academy is already being thrown down. This is why we often see a faster robotics bay type of tech, rather than rushing into the Templar Archives if it's this late. It's going to be Storm. Huh. That is really surprising. We'll have to see what type of use this Storm will have, but I mean, if it's Trap, that probably does mean that something good is going to come out of this. Cannon will get built here at the 4th base, Cannon as well on the 3rd. Trap's playing this very safe, very secure. There's good vision on this right side. We have one part of the army over here. As this observer is keeping track of everything that's happening on the side of the map. Don't get me wrong. I like Trap's position. I think if you're equal in supply with a Terran, that's usually good. There's zealots on the map that can go for run-bys on 2 sides. There's good vision on the map as well, which will help in getting these zealot run-bys in. I think these went in a bit too fast. Yeah, they need to be sent out again. I might actually get caught here by these Marauders. A couple of these zealots will fall. 2 will go down before anything really happens. Zealots up here will also get sent back. I think they probably saw the mines and were like, okay, not for us today. A couple of cannons will get cancelled, or at least will get shot down. I'm not quite sure if there was a cancel there. At the same time, we have the enhanced shockwaves about to finish up. And this is the timing that ByuN wants to hit. He has 3 ghosts. There's 2 liberators that go harass. So this is the distraction. The distraction into the push. This Liberate's going to get a fair amount of damage. ByuN already at a higher worker count right now than his opponent. EMP is going down, hitting absolutely everything as well. There's no Vikings to zone out this. Oh, Prism gets sniped. One Templar will hit a big storm, but this was quite a good fight for ByuN, and this is what I was afraid of, honestly. Oh, well, actually, ByuN kind of gets cleaned up in the end. It looked really good for ByuN, but I guess that one storm and the Immortals just dealing a little bit too much damage. I was really afraid of Trap just kind of getting blasted by the EMPs, and it looked like that, but then that storm still came in clutch. There's still a lot of supply here for ByuN, and he dealt a lot of economic damage. Liberator somehow, some way still alive. You might be wondering why he's putting a liberation zone there. I'll explain that later, as we now have a bit of a fight on our hands. And it seems like Trap will deal at least some damage on the other side of the map, but we'll get pushed back from here on out as well. The reason why a lot of Terrans, they liberate random locations on the map when they're in that space, is because Terrans very often use the F2 key, which is the all army hotkey. It's the hotkey that selects every army unit that you have, and you can then move it across the map. If you're in liberation mode, even if you spam the F2 key a bunch, it will still remain in liberation mode. So something to keep in mind. It's a good trick. It's the same with observers, obviously. You can put them in observer mode. It's extremely helpful. I really do like that usually. Now, triple Marauders are being produced. We're still only working off of 5 barracks. Fort base is also pretty late here, and there's no armory on the way either. So it feels like ByuN still has a powerful army with 3 ghosts, a couple of Vikings being mixed in, 3 more ghosts on the way. This is an army that Trap will struggle to deal with. However, there's a bit of a timer on this. Once the upgrades really get going, once the Robo Bay finally gets thrown down, which feels somewhat inevitable at this point. I mean, there's freaking 7 gas. How much more gas do you need? How much more gas do you want before you get the transition going? There we go. Robo Bay as well as the second robotic facility gets built right now. These 2 satellites get spotted on the far right side. Commands are flying to this left side. We've had weird expansion patterns so far this game. So Trap open up with this as a 3rd and going here as a 4th, rather than taking this line base as the 3rd into this forward fort. And now we see ByuN expand towards the left side. This is something we don't really see. Now it might come as a surprise to Trap. ByuN heading into these extra 3 racks. Very common for ByuN. He loves these ghost marine marauder armies and he just splits them up. A lot of Terrans say, hey, once you get ghost out, you don't really want to split up your army anymore. But ByuN says, well, if I have my ghost out, these split armies are going to be even better. I can EMP next side, so they can't recall anymore. Templar that are defending bases can just be EMP'd as well. And this right side army is doing a fair amount of damage. Good pickup as well here. We'll save 3 of the medevacs. 1 will get sniped out of the sky. This is an orbital command. He floated it into an orbital. I don't think that Trap is aware of the fact that there's a base there, let alone that it's an orbital. It's kind of funky, huh? That is indeed kind of funky. Scan in the main base does reveal that there's nothing waiting over there. Recall gets used. EMP could have prevented this. It's only 2 Templar though. And honestly, I think ByuN could have actually stood around and waited. These medevacs are just going to idle in the top right side. There's a lot of supply here that just needs to sit at this point. Bunch of ghosts here, as we see a scan. Now, Trap will see that scan and know where the army is. So that scan revealed more to Trap than it revealed to ByuN. Although Trap's not really moving into position. There's still 2 Templar in this prism. 1 Templar gets out, hits a big storm actually. The rest of the EMPs are covering this entire army right now. Good stim, good split. Vikings remain alive for now. First Colossi are out, will help with this army. Although there's a lot of Marauders and Ghost. Marines, of course, are still around as well. And the Colossi will deal with that. ByuN believes that he can fight this. I'm not so sure, but I'm going to trust ByuN's judgment here more than my own. Does get pushed back a little bit. Needs to bite the bullet. I think these medevacs got F2'd back into this. I don't think that was intentional. I really don't think that was. Yeah, that did not look absolutely brilliant. What do we have here? 2 Colossi. +3 on the way. Going up to 4 Colossi. Yeah, second starport is going to be kind of inevitable here. +1 ship weapons on the way as well. Once to 2 hits, once again, ByuN will have a bit of a some more footing in this game where it's like, okay, I can take these big fights again against these large gateway armies. With 1-1 against 2-1, life can get a little bit tricky. First disruptors are being constructed at this point as well, and that definitely will change the pacing of this game. Once the disruptors get out, once Trap gets up to that 180-ish supply army, he's going to be in control of this game as long as Liberators will not be here. I'm surprised neither of these 2 observers are moving towards the right side to cover this area, as it's largely dark. We see ByuN moving forward, maxed army, 2-2 upgrades. Here he goes, Vikings trying to deal some damage on these Colossi. Colossi 3 and 4 are out, are idling. Disruptor 1 and 2 are out, but are on the incorrect side as well. This single mine is not going to get spotted yet. Oh wait, there's an observer here somewhere. Oh, there's a cannon there. My apologies, I didn't quite see that. 3 types of splash in this army for trap. The Disruptor, the Colossi, and the Templar. The only splash that we miss is the Archon, but we don't really miss it. But of course that would complete the four types of splash that Protoss has. Almost as good as having all the body parts of Exodus in a Yu-Gi-Oh game. As we get a couple of Disruptor shots here, trying to hit, not quite succeeding here. Not the greatest fight for trap, honestly. Vikings dishing out a lot of damage as well. Plus 1 ship weapons isn't done yet, but doesn't really seem to matter as trap gets completely blasted here in this fight. I think ByuN might have just done it. I think he might have just done it indeed. Oi, 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 oi. Another EMP goes down. These Vikings will hit the Colossi. And these ghosts get sent back to where they belong. Well, actually, not entirely true. They stay alive for now. One of the ghosts will fall. As I think Trap is absolutely dead here. Random factory flying over. There's a 5th base already for ByuN. There's a 6th on the way. Trap has 7 Stalkers. Warps in 3 Templar. I always love it when people stay in, but this is really pushing it. GG gets called. And Trap decides to leave. ByuN with a pretty sweet victory here. We'll take it home. And that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.